Kia ora team, and welcome back to another edition of Big Boys Boxing Live. If you'd like to get on the panel, come and talk some boxing, simply hit the Discord server invite in the description. Go to the voice channel named Live Panel, click it, and you're on. It's that simple. So without further ado, let's do this. What is up, team? Welcome back to Big Boys Boxing. I'm Jono, your host. And man, who expected that? Holy shit. Tyson Fury does exactly what he said he was going to do. And that's got to be a first as well. Seriously. When does Tyson do exactly what he says he's going to do? And also, Gerald Washington gets knocked the fuck out. So, we'll start with the Washington versus Martin fight. I was disappointed in Gerald big time. He didn't show up, man. I mean, he looked in good condition, but no way was he ever going to win that fight fighting like that. The biggest problem I saw was he kept moving around onto Charles Martin's power hand. He kept moving to his right, therefore giving up the foot position for the southpaw to have his foot on the outside and the left hand to be open straight down the pipe. And Gerald has to shoot across his body with his power hand to land his right hand. But it was a left hand. It was a bit of a hook that stopped Gerald Washington. I wasn't that happy with the stoppage, to be honest. Washington went down hard on his back, didn't smack his head on the canvas, but he got up quickly. Maybe he got up a little bit too quickly. He had a little bit of a step to the side as he was trying to walk to the corner, and the referee stopped the fight right there and then. I have no doubt that Martin would have finished him off, because once Gerald Washington goes down like that, he capitulates big time. Just a sec here. Yeah. So, Gerald Washington gets knocked out in the 6th round of 12 in the IBF Eliminator. It's not a final eliminator, so Martin will have to fight somebody in a final eliminator once it gets determined who he's going to have to face. But I think Gerald Washington has moved to journeyman status now. I think maybe he'd be suitable for guys like Efer Jugba, Jalalov, even Tislenko, who's taken a loss against Winters recently. Those kind of guys. Nathan Gorman, an opponent for those type of guys. So, Gerald's chin ain't that great. Once he gets tagged heavy, he definitely capitulates. I did do a live commentary stream, but my kids were giving me shit at the same time, so it was a pretty ratchet stream, so don't bother going and watching that one. But Gerald Washington gets stopped by Martin in round 6. So moving on to the main event. Well, just to let you know, I had a multi-bet on. I had Washington just to win, and Deontay Wilder to stop Tyson Fury through 9 to 12. So I couldn't have gotten more wrong with that pick. And once my first leg of the multi-bet stuffed out, I thought I quickly ran to the betting site and made a hedge bet. I chucked a 20 on Tyson Fury to stop Deontay Wilder at 5-1, and that covered my bets. So $30 up for the weekend, but it could have been much better. However, god damn, this chat thing not working again. Give me a sec here. See if I can suss it out. The main event. Wow, Tyson came forward with educated pressure continuously. Did he get tagged once in the first round there? And he took like 2 steps back, but then he was straight forward again. What I did like to see from Tyson was his jab was stiffer, and you could see when he was throwing that jab, he was kind of expecting something back in return, so he was leaning forward into the jab with his chin down, so if something did come, his chin wasn't going to spin his head around if he got caught or something. So I was quite impressed with that. Man, he's adopted the Kronk style pretty quickly and done pretty well with it. So very impressive. And for me, it just goes to show a fighter who has lots of skills can adapt, change up his style, and be successful with it. Whereas a one-trick pony only has the one trick. And if that don't work, you're fucked. So it was always going to be a matter of time before somebody beat Deontay Wilder. He was forced onto the back foot, and he can't throw the big right hand if he's not on the front foot. He got totally Kronk big maned. Tyson fought like a big man, put his weight all over Deontay. Deontay was, well, it looked like he was gassed after the first knockdown in the third round, but I think it was more of a case of Tyson burst his eardrum and his equilibrium was gone. His legs were gone from that first knockdown compared to what he's usually like. I think it was a left hook followed by a quick right hand that hit him right on the ear, and that was pretty much the start of the end for Deontay. Tyson continued with that pressure, looked good with it, and surprised many. If he fights like that against Anthony Joshua, it's going to knock him out, man. I don't see anybody being able to beat Tyson when he's fighting like that. No freaking way, man. What's up with this picture down the bottom? I changed it. Give me a sec here. Got a few technical issues today. Seems using this new YouTube studio to do your streams, some of the shit doesn't work. And it's fucking up some of my shit. And unfortunately, the Studio Classic is disappearing very soon, so got to get used to it. There's the picture I wanted. That's better. WBC champ Tyson Fury. Now, there's a few people talking about whether we want to see a rematch or not. Well, honestly, I think Deontay's going to need some recovery time. A burst eardrum does take a while to heal, so I don't think there should be an immediate rematch. I wouldn't mind seeing the guys fight again down the track, for sure. But I don't want to see Deontay Wilder come in with any niggling injuries. Particularly a burst eardrum. It really does mess with your equilibrium. You could see his balance was all off, even though his balance wasn't that great in the first place. Having a burst eardrum certainly doesn't help the situation. But I wouldn't mind seeing an undisputed fight, but like I've said in previous videos, I don't think it's actually viable right now. Because if Anthony Joshua makes a fight with anybody else after Kubrat Pulev, the WBO are going to take that WBO belt away from Joshua, and then there won't be an undisputed fight, will there? So, why isn't this fucking chat working? Pissing me off. Visual settings, font settings. Oh, here we go. Now it looks like it's working. Maybe not. I'm going to open up the lines in a few minutes to talk about what we think can happen in the future, what everybody thought of the fights. I'm just trying to get this technical issue sorted out first. Sorry, team. Don't know why it's not freaking working. Not a clue. I'll fix it later. Fuck it. You can watch him here knock out what's his name? Shit, I can't even remember his name. Ali. Oh, someone. Alright. Screw the tech. Alright, so. Welcome everybody. We've got Malamaz in the house. Boxing fan in the house as well. Phil Carl Roberts in the house. Good to see you, brother. Right, I'll go and get this chat opened up. Get some music on in the background. And we can get into some chat, some debate about what happened. So there is a link up the top there of the chat for anybody who may like to join. Just copy that invite, and the live panel is open. Anybody wants to come and have a yarn, hit that link, or just go to the Discord server. The link for the server is in the chat, in the description, and go to the voice channel called Live Panel. Man, there's a lot to talk about. Deontay Wilder with all his big talk prior to the fight. If you're such a good boxer, why do you need to go changing trainers and blah blah blah? It's like, are you scared to have Tyson Fury better? That's what I thought at the time when Deontay said it, and it's proven to be true. They didn't want Tyson to be the best Tyson Fury. And you know what? He's only been fighting the style for 3 months? And he's just beaten the longest reigning world champion with it. Not just beaten, he broke him down and smashed him to bits. Deontay Wilder got knocked out with his own quote, a pillow-fisted drug addict. He just got destroyed by a pillow-fisted drug addict. So, Deontay saying all these derogatory things about Tyson Fury prior to the fight has made him look like an absolute fool. He was embarrassed and, like I said, beat down by a man, a drug addict. Beat down by a man who's got pillows for fists. We won't see Deontay Wilder in the ring for at least 4 months. But I really do hope he recovers. He can come again, for sure. But to come back, I think this time, if he wants to get back up to another title shot, he's going to have to fight some fighters who are young, fighters who are hungry, fighters who throw a lot of punches, fighters that he never fought to get his title in the first place. So, we'll see, man. Yeah, no room for Wilder to wind up that windmill for sure. Kiwi buds. Tyson putting him on the back foot continuously. He had no backup plan. He had nothing. Like I said earlier, the one trick pony, if your one trick can't be utilized, you're fucked. And this is where fundamental boxing skill as a base is absolutely necessary.
Appreciate that. Holla with the dollar. Boom.
And we have Tommy Temper with another super chat. You the man, brother. Appreciate that. That will help go towards more pay-per-views. I try and do some commentary streams on fights that we're not likely to be able to see. So thanks to Tommy Temper and Scott70 with their recent donations, I'll be doing a live stream for the Dempsey McKean versus Jonathan Rice fight on the 7th of March. There's not likely to be a available stream for that unless you want to pay for it. You can go to what's it called? The site Epicenter Sports Australia, and you can buy the pay-per-view there. But realistically, the rest of the card is absolute crap. There's only one fight I'm interested in it, but appreciate those donations, boys, and they will help with being able to cover some of these little more obscure but interesting fights in the future. So big ups to Tommy Temper. Appreciate that, my brother. Alright, so have we got anybody in the Discord yet? Probably not. No one yet. But feel free, there's a link right up the top, y'all. If anybody wants to jump on and come and have a yarn, give their view of what they think Tyson Fury did and what's he actually capable of. What is he actually capable of? You know, like I say, with the plethora of skills that he's got, he can adapt, and whatever happens, if it's not working, he can change it up and do something else. And he's 6'9". He's just proven that he can punch against possibly the heaviest puncher in the heavyweight division ever. Technique is everything, man. Technique is everything. Fundamentals aren't everything, but if you want to stay a long reigning champion and be able to beat anybody, you need fundamental skill. At least more than what Deontay Wilder had. Now, don't get me wrong, I've said it in the past, Deontay Wilder does have skills that are unconventional, is all it is. And it had worked for him for quite some time. But, you know, when he comes up against somebody who can adapt, who has other skills to fall back on, he's going to be in trouble. Maybe it's time for him to start working on a stance that's not so wide with the feet. Maybe it's time to start working on shortening up punches on the inside. Maybe it's time to start using angles more consistently, not only when you're trying to pivot away off the ropes and open up angles. I did like that Deontay was actually jabbing a bit better and then jabbing to the body, but it became a bit of a consistent pattern. So once he landed a jab or double jab or triple jab or even a jab right hand, Tyson knew he was going to go to the body next. And that was part of Deontay trying to get Tyson to go onto the back foot. But also, maybe Deontay up at 230 pounds isn't so great. Or maybe it is a good weight for him, but his body is not just not used to it yet. He needs to fight a few fights at that weight so he gets used to it. Coming up from, what was he for Luis Ortiz? 220 something, I suppose, off the top of my head. I mean, to the eye, Deontay looked like he was in great shape. Didn't look fat, but carrying that extra muscle takes a bit of adapting from the body to get used to. Excuse me. And I just don't think he had enough time. But there's also the fact I don't make excuses, but I had something wrong with my leg. If you're gonna say I don't make excuses, you don't say but and then give a fucking excuse. That's just stupid, man. And he's done it in the past too, you know. He's done it in the past. What did he say? Last time round, I broke my hand in training. After he didn't knock Fury out, he comes out with an excuse and then says, but no, I don't make excuses. That's an excuse, you dumbass! Yeah, no, I'm fully impressed and a little bit blown away with Tyson Fury. Maybe it's a good thing that he had boxed the way he did to hone his fundamental skills. Let's be real, there ain't another big man on the planet who can move like Tyson Fury, but now he knows how to use educated pressure and he can punch. He beat the living shit out of Deontay Wilder. Honestly, beat the living shit.
Yeah, appreciate that. Holla with the dollar.
I'm not trying to be disrespectful to Deontay, but a lot of us thought that this day would come when Deontay's one trick wouldn't work and he paid the price for it. So it is what it is. Ohio King with the $10 holla. Appreciate that, brother. Oh, $1 holla. It's all good, man. It all helps. Appreciate that. Big time. Anybody wants to get on, I'll drop another link. I want to hear some more other people's opinions about what they thought of Tyson Fury's performance. So, if you'd like to join, there's a link that takes you directly to the voice channel. Click on that. You just have to sign up to Discord if you haven't already. It's just enter your email, create a password, and then you're in. Easy as. But fuck, I can't see Anthony Joshua beating Tyson Fury. I can't see Dillian White beating Tyson Fury. I can't see anybody on the planet beating Tyson Fury when he fights in that style. But more importantly, how much better can Tyson Fury get? He's only been fighting in that style for 2 months. So it is what it is. We have our dog in the house. How are you today, brother?
Oh, doing well, man. That was a sensational night of heavyweight boxing, man. Look, at the end of the day, before I get into talking about the fight, that's what boxing needed, man. We needed a big fight that ended with a knockout, no controversy, blood, sweat, and tears, and that's exactly what we got, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Um, Tyson doing exactly what he said he was going to do. Who picked it, man? Who picked it? Mark is the only one I know that actually picked it pretty close.
Remember, man, I feel like a fool because I cashed out of my like $150 bet on Fury to knock him out in the round 7 to 12,
Oh,
paying like 11 to 1, and I
oh,
cashed out like the day before, put like $100 on Wilder to win by knockout.
damn. So you had it.
So yeah, man, I should have never changed my prediction, but shout out to Mark, man.
He picked
I
it good.
mean, Mark is a very gifted guy at predicting these fights, man.
Yes.
Very
Particularly
gifted
when
at.
it comes to Tyson Fury. Oh, shit, he gets it
Yeah, man. His
very close.
Tyson Fury. Look, never bet against him and Tyson Fury.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I had my multi on and that screwed out the first leg, and I thought I'm going to go and quickly drop a hedge before the fight starts. And I thought about Mark, and I thought, okay, yeah, I'll just chuck a hedge on with Mark's bet just to be safe. And sure enough, and it
Oof.
covered my ass. $30 up for the weekend. Fucking lucky.
Man, that was a dominant performance.
Hugely dominant, man. We've seen Tyson try and come forward and be a bit of a big man before, but this time was a bit different. He was still maintaining his distance instead of just trying to maul him. And that Kronk training is certainly sunk in very quick.
Yeah,
Fuck.
hey Marla, he says the Parker fight is $40 in NZ. Uh, is that the Mikey Garcia and Jesse Vargas card?
Yeah,
Like, is that the DAZN card coming up? That's $40,
correct.
or is it just the
I actually go.
Parker one? Let me see.
I'll go and look it up. It's on Fan Pass. I know that
'Cause that's
much.
ridiculous, man. I'm not paying $40 to see Parker fight Shaundell Winters.
No, no, neither. Um, you'd want to hope it's the whole card. I'm just finding it here.
Yeah, man. But hey, man, the moment I was most impressed with was that body shot knockdown, man. That was a beautiful punch.
It
Beautiful
was.
punch.
You see him looking for it after the right hand too, eh? You see him
Yeah,
turn around,
man.
look,
Like,
and okay, there's the spot. Boom! Right in the ribs and the liver. Down you
man,
go.
Fury's #1 at heavyweight without a doubt.
Easily, easily.
Without a doubt, man. Like, look, you can make the argument that AJ, all that, but look, he's got two better wins than AJ has. He outboxed Klitschko in Germany, and he knocked out Deontay Wilder in America.
Yeah,
Sensational, really.
that's huge, man.
Absolutely sensational. And look, he's won every heavyweight title there is to win. He hasn't had them all at once, but he's had them
Yep.
each at a specific point in time. He hasn't lost, man.
I
He hasn't
didn't,
lost.
I didn't hear them talking about the Ring Magazine belt at all. Was that actually on the line?
Yeah, Fury won it.
Okay, it was on the line.
Well, I mean, obviously Fury won it, but
Yeah.
yeah. He got it, man. He got it. Look, the whole atmosphere was crazy that night. Like the ring walks, the singing afterwards. Great atmosphere for heavyweight boxing, man. Really was.
Huge. I hope the pay per view does well because it really was a great event. It was massive, and
Yeah.
I hope both
Did
guys do
Did you
well out of
notice
it.
like a lot of people you knew were watching it? Because I noticed a lot of people I knew personally were watching that fight, and I was surprised.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I use some of my family as a gauge for how popular, because they don't really like boxing much. But I gave
Yeah,
I
yeah.
gave my younger brother a call who only watches big Parker fights or The last fight he bought was Pacquiao versus Mayweather. So
Yeah, yeah.
I rang him up to see what he's up to. He's like, "Nah, I'll call you later. I'm watching the fight." Oh,
Ah,
okay,
true.
sweet. So, you know, he's not a big
Yeah.
boxing fan, and he was into it. So that's a good gauge for me, man.
Yeah, I hope
Everyone,
it does well, man. Because, look, I just want boxing to thrive, and I want to get more crossover fights. I want to see Spence versus Crawford. I want to see Lomachenko versus Davis. I want to see these crossover fights, man. I want to see the best fighting the best. And look, if we can get more nights like that, I mean, no one will be upset,
no, that's right.
except for maybe the LDBC, because all their fighters will get their ass kicked.
We have a newcomer on the voice channel, Slickstream. Welcome in, brother. You are muted at the moment. Are you there? You want me to unmute you? No, I can't. You'll have to unmute yourself. You may need to hook up your mic if it's not unmuting for you. Just hit allow. There you go. You there, mate? We can't hear you. Not sure what's up about that. Let's see if I can mess with
Silkstream, we can't quite hear you.
No, we can't hear you. Slickstream is something up with your mic, mate. You might have to allow Discord to access your mic.
Yeah, but look, the fight basically went like this. Tyson Fury, he came out with that Kronk style, just like you said he was gonna try to in your prediction video. Everything you said Fury was gonna try to do in your prediction video, he did. The only difference was his execution of that worked extremely well. Like, I think it exceeded everyone's expectations. I mean, he looked sensational. Fury did. He dominated Wilder. He really did, man. He dominated Deontay Wilder. Now, I don't want people to be revisionists and say, "Oh, well, Wilder was never that good anyway." Look, we can have those thoughts, but at the point of time, Wilder did have 10 title defenses. He had a lot of knockouts. Some people were saying he's the best pound for pound boxer in the sport. Not very credible people, but some people were. This guy had a lot of hype behind him. Tyson
Well,
Fury beat him, man.
he's,
Tyson Fury beat him.
he was the longest reigning champion. He's knocked out every man bar Tyson Fury that he faced. So, the hype's got to be warranted to a degree. I think we can hear you now, Silkscreen Stream. Are you there? No, it must have been L-Dog moving around. I still can't hear.
His mic says it's on, but
Yeah,
can't quite hear anything.
just can't hear anything. Not sure why
Yeah,
that
man,
is.
sensational performance, man. Like, I was in shock, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I was blown away. I thought there was going to be hints of the Kronk style come out, but I didn't think there'd be that much of it in the time span he's had to try and adapt to it. But, like I was saying earlier in the stream, having all the fundamental skill to fall back on makes it easier to pick up styles. He can change it up, so I can't see anybody on the planet beating him. If he continues with this style, it's only going to get better too. So, those right hands that were kind of skimming Wilder at times, they're going to get straighter. They're going to get heavier. The jabs are going to get heavier. Stepping right into that jab with his chin down, expecting something back, but making sure that his jab snaps his opponent's head back. And even some of the left hooks in there were improved somewhat. The elbow was still quite bent, but he was turning knuckles over a bit, and they were hurting. I think that first knockdown,
Yeah.
it was a left hook that started it, and then he came through with a right on the ear on the other side. So he's
Completely agree with you. The biggest adjustment he made was his punching technique, just in general. Like, before, you called it how it was. Fury wasn't necessarily a weak puncher, but his technique was like a slapping technique. Like, his wrist wasn't tight, but you can see Sugar Hill really got his punching technique, like turning into his punches, planting down, have tightening at his wrist and really punching with the knuckles and punching through the target. Like it made a world of difference in the overall impact his punches had on Wilder.
Yeah, with that jab at the end of round one. You remember that jab?
Yeah, snapped his head
Whoa.
back.
It's like I've never seen a jab like that from Fury before. That was awesome. That was awesome, man. And I seriously can't see anybody beating him. Do you think Joshua's actually got a chance of beating him if he can fight like that?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why I think Joshua actually has a pretty good chance at beating Tyson Fury. I don't think he will, but I think that version of Fury probably does get beat by Joshua if he uses the same game plan. I think Tyson Fury can outbox Joshua around very easily. I think he can beat Joshua 9-3, 10-2. But look, Tyson Fury has tremendous defense, but his problem has always been his inside defense.
Yeah.
His defense on the inside is shocking. He can he has good offense on the inside. We've seen him work on the inside like he did against Wilder, like he did against Otto Wallin, but his defense is quite poor. Joshua is quite a good inside fighter, so he could exploit a lot of Tyson Fury's weaknesses on the inside. That being said, Fury is a much smarter boxer than Anthony Joshua. He'll know this and he'll just outbox Joshua on the outside, where Fury's defense is far superior. That's
Yeah.
how I see that fight going. I don't see Fury trying to fight Joshua on the inside. I see him outboxing Joshua.
Yeah, well, I say if the fight happens, the outside game, Tyson Fury for me's got a better outside game.
Yeah.
The jab, he's got a better jab now. It didn't have a better jab before. Maybe Joshua's still got a better left hook. Maybe Joshua's still got a better straight right hand. But if it comes down to movement, Tyson's going to win that. If it comes down to the inside, Tyson's going to grab him all night long. There's going to be no
Yeah.
inside fight. You see?
Look, Tyson's offense on the inside is very good, but his defense is quite poor on the inside, and that's why I wouldn't like him fighting on the inside against Joshua. As Joshua's inside offense is very good as well, and I think maybe his defense on the inside is a bit better than Fury's. So I think the inside fight favors Joshua, but mid distance, long distance, it all favors Fury. So he should just box his way to a points decision, really.
Yeah. Marla makes a good point there. He thinks Joshua has a better chance to beat Fury than Wilder. And I agree with that. Joshua's got more classic fundamental skill. He's a more complete boxer. He's far from a one-trick pony. I'm not trying to be totally disrespectful to Wilder here. He did have a bit of a left hook, but basically it's that right hand that won him fights. And if he hasn't got that right hand, if it gets taken away from him because he's on the back foot all night, he's a one-trick pony. And
I'll tell you how. Wait, sorry, Jono.
where you go?
No, sorry, your mic. Did it cut out or did I interrupt?
Oh, it might have cut out. I might actually just swap over to my phone, mate, so I don't get.
Oh,
issues.
okay, cool. Because I just don't want to interrupt if it's cutting out. But what I'll say is the key to beat Wilder is to establish lead hand dominance. You saw Luis Ortiz do it. You saw Tyson Fury do it, and Tyson Fury executed it the whole fight. Now, why you need lead hand dominance is Wilder uses his rangefinder quite well now. He doesn't want to be as wild as he used to be. He uses that rangefinder jab, and if you probe his lead hand and don't let him establish the range, he won't throw his right hand anymore. He just doesn't do it. So that's how you beat him. And if you look at Fury, he was touching that probing jab of Wilder all night, jabbing over it and establishing lead hand control. and that was absolutely crucial to preventing Wilder from firing that right hand. And Luis Ortiz did the same thing, but because Luis Ortiz is quite old, he tired out, and he stopped doing that. And as soon as Wilder found that range with his lead hand, he exploded with his right hand and knocked Luis Ortiz out. But Fury executed that perfectly. So that's what I think is the key to beating Wilder, is to establish lead hand dominance. I think we saw that last night. So it is really a tremendous game plan. You know, Fury is... Look, Fury, what I like about him and what's going to make him hard to beat is he can really switch up his game plan. You know, it's not just boxing on the outside. It's not just fighting on the inside. It's whatever he thinks you're weakest at, he'll do. It's quite a smart strategy he has. Tyson Fury's going to be a very difficult boxer to beat.
Can you hear me, old dog? Can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me? Can't hear me.
Yo,
Hello?
There's
Hello,
some-
can you...
Yeah, it's echoing through your Big Boys Boxing account.
Can you hear me now?
Much better.
That's better?
Yeah.
Sweet. I had it plugged in when you were talking before. I couldn't mic to work.
Yeah, but my point basically was, if you establish lead hand dominance against Wilder, there's not really much he can do. He's quite limited, to be honest.
Yeah, that's what I mean by one trick pony a lot of the time. But Marlo, how you doing, brother?
But man, I'd having a few issues with my computer, man. It was running really slow. I just managed to sort it out.
All good. We had a new caller in here before and he couldn't get his mic working either. So it seems to be a common problem. What was his name? Silk Stream.
Yeah.
I found if you pull your mic out of your phone, if you're using your phone and then plug it back in, it seems to work. So, yeah. All right, Marla, what did you think of that performance from Fury, brother?
Oh man, fuck! It was just I just sat there watching it, and I was thinking of fucking hell, dog. Like first thing I saw it, I thought, fuck, he called it, man. He beat his ass.
I changed my prediction last minute though, because everyone was telling me I was wrong, and I lost all faith in myself. And I thought, I cashed out, man. I cashed out with my bet.
Oh, I heard you saying to Jono about that. Damn, I thought he had a chance of beating Wilder, but I didn't think he would beat his ass like that. It was just like he just took control of the jab those first 2 rounds, and then the 3rd round he dropped that bomb, and Wilder looked, his legs were just all over the place, and it was just over. He just couldn't do anything. You could see. Did he have a ruptured eardrum or something?
Yeah, there was blood pouring out of
Oh
there,
yeah, man. He was just all over the place. He had no legs, and the thing, I watched the fight again this morning. Obviously, you got no emotion, and you can just sit there and coldly watch it. And from the first round on, Deontay Wilder, from the first round on, right from the beginning of the fight, he just had his chin up in the air and his hands down, pulling straight back. And it was just like, my God, this guy's got fast hands and an 85-inch reach. He can get you from a long way away, man. It's like, it's those boxing fundamentals. Chin down, hands up. And if the guy's coming at you hard, get down and step around him. It's like the bull with the matador. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He just had his hands down and his chin up in the air, pulling straight back, and he just kept doing it, and he never stopped doing it. And Fury was just beating his ass. I just couldn't believe how you've been a pro fighter for like 12, 13 years, and you went to the Olympics, and you don't know to keep your chin down and your hands up. His basic defense, he just had no defense, and Fury just destroyed him. And it was just, I'm so happy now though, in a way, because it's opened up heavyweight boxing. The belt's free, and it's so exciting. And I read an article this morning about Eddie Hearn, and I think Frank Warren were talking about unification in the UK, and it would be the biggest fight in UK history. You know, it'd be so great for it to happen.
Tyson won't do it though, eh?
Won't?
No, he won't do it,
No.
man. He hates the UK now after what everybody started saying about him when he went through his badness. So
they'll
he's
have to
contracted
fight
to
in Vegas.
ESPN. He's contracted to fight in the US. So if Anthony Joshua wants an undisputed fight in the next 2 fights for Tyson, it has to be in the US, unless it's after that. But
Okay. I'll tell you one thing. I hope the LDBC and all Wilder supporters don't try to scapegoat Mark Breland. He made the right call throwing the towel. And when you have a fighter bleeding out of his ear, it wasn't a cut on the ear, on the outside, you know, it was in the ear with blood coming out. When you're a trainer, and when it's a trainer and you don't know when where that blood's coming from, and it's coming from internal, you got to throw the towel.
Yeah,
because it could be a brain bleed.
I have to say, I have to say, I watched 78 Sports talking about it after the fight, and he mentioned once he saw the blood coming from Deontay's ear after round 3, he thought that the ref should have stopped it, or the towel should have been thrown in, because that shit is dangerous. And nobody wants to see Deontay, you know, brain damaged or anything like that. He's a fighter. We do care about fighters' health. So I think
you got to give 78. Give 78 props for that. It was good. Good call.
Yeah, look, I've given Wilder some shit over the years, you know, probably more than he deserved. But look, I don't want the man to get seriously hurt, because look, he got into boxing to provide for his daughter. You know, I can respect that. He ain't a bad person. He might say some stupid things, but he really isn't a bad person. And the call was right, because look, it wasn't even a cut. It was internal bleeding. So you don't know whether that's, you know, coming from his brain or something. You know, if it's internal, it's coming out of your mouth, your nose, your ears. That's a horrible sign. You know, you have to stop the fight before your fighter sustains irreversible, life-changing injuries. So it was a good call, in my opinion.
Or even just loss of hearing in one ear. You don't want to see him even just lose hearing in one ear. And that shit can happen pretty easily once your eardrums burst. So, good call, Mark.
I got to the point in the fight, I think it was the 6th round, I was sitting there thinking, God, they've got to stop this the next round, because it was getting to the point where Wilder was looking defenseless. He was getting hit at will, It was just getting hit at will, man. And that when that starts happening, that was you've got to step in, You just have to. But he was brave. He was brave, Deontay. He hung in there, man. And He
He's a
showed a lot of
warrior.
heart. Oh, he went back to the corner and he said to his trainer, "Why'd you throw the towel in?" And Mark
Yeah, he
Breland said,
wanted.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's saying he wanted to go out on a shield, but
yeah.
when
But
you
Breland,
got blood coming out of your ear, man, you don't want to go out on your shield because it may be the last time you ever step in the ring, or maybe even
yeah,
the last
man,
time you
yeah.
breathe.
So
So
he was brave. He was brave. He said, "I got to give it to him. He hung in there, man. He was just, but he was just outclassed. I mean, I didn't give him a round. I gave every
I
round
actually,
to Fury.
yeah, I actually thought the second round was pretty close because Tyson's volume went down a bit in that second round, and maybe it was out of a bit of pity I gave the second round to Wilder, but all the rest I
Yeah.
gave to
I
Fury.
just felt the first couple of rounds, Fury was just controlling him with the jab. And yeah, like 2 judges didn't give him any rounds, and 1 judge gave him 1 round, apparently. Yeah.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
yeah, but it's
What did you think of Kenny Bayless? Was there anything to
yeah, he
pick?
took that point. He took that point. What did he take that point off for? What particularly?
Because Tyson wasn't breaking when he said stop. He was continuing to try and lean on Wilder for a few more seconds, and he kept doing it consistently. So I thought
Okay.
the point getting taken off was fair enough. But
Yeah, I
at
didn't have
that
any
stage, I
issues with
thought,
the ref.
I'll
yeah,
be honest, I thought they tried to save and buy Wilder time.
I thought a couple of times he did. And you notice when they were breaking, he was trying to push Tyson back extra steps, where he was just stopping Wilder from coming forward instead
Yeah,
of pushing him back.
he probably was a little sympathetic, eh?
It's
There
hard
was
not
one.
to be when he's getting a
Well,
beating like that.
oh, definitely, man. He was getting an absolute shellacking, and yeah, there was the thing I just, as I say about Wilder, man. It's like those boxing fundamentals of just keep your chin down and your hands up. He never picked his hands up from the first round. He had his hands down. I couldn't believe that, man. It's like, mate, you're taking shots. What should be the first thing you think of? I got to get my hands up,
Yeah.
And he just
The
didn't,
show.
And oh God, man. But I am excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Now, hopefully, we can see Dillian White get a shot against somebody for a title. Hopefully, I would love to see AJ Fury. It'll be tragic if that doesn't happen. I don't want to see what we had with Wilder and Deontay bitching for 3 years and we didn't get a fight. I hope that doesn't happen with AJ and Fury. I hope they do get in the ring. Yeah, and it'd be great to see that.
What about a rematch? What do you guys want to see, an immediate rematch, or do you just want to see it down the track, or do you not want to see it at all?
I feel like he's beaten Deontay twice, and I thought he won the first fight, Fury, and this fight was such a beatdown. I mean, if Wilder wants the fight, if he wants the fight, and it's in the contract that he's entitled to one, if he wants it, I guess, he doesn't want it. He's a man. He got a hiding, and he wants a chance to redeem himself. Like AJ got a hiding in the first fight with Ruiz, and he got a chance to redeem himself. So I guess if Wilder wants it, he has to have it, for his own pride and just his self-respect, and
Hey, from a fan's perspective, I'll say I don't want to see a rematch because I agree with Marla. I think Fury in the eyes of pretty much everyone is 2-0 up. I thought he won the first fight a decision, about 9-3. And I felt I didn't feel. I know he won the second one by a devastating knockout. And that to me is like he closed the chapter, really. That was not like, it wasn't a war where, Wilder had success. Like, he didn't knock Fury down. He wasn't winning rounds. He didn't have Fury hurt. Like, you could argue he won maybe 1 or 2 rounds, but look, the rounds that he arguably won were extremely close. So
Yeah.
he didn't have any real success. I mean, it wasn't a particularly it wasn't a great fight in the sense that it was super competitive. I think the chapter's done. I would like to see, in all honesty, Fury move on and fight Dillian White or Anthony Joshua next. Some combination of the two.
Yeah, that's what I want to see too, man. The fight wasn't, as I say, the fight wasn't competitive, and one thing that surprised me, like Wilder, you're a big puncher, but he was going backwards. He was so defensive right from the get-go. And it's like, if you want to get the leverage on that big right hand of yours, man, you got to try and get some come forward, you know?
Yeah.
I think.
Did you
Yeah,
notice Fury was eating those right hands though?
he took them pretty well. He was rolling with them though too. He was seeing them coming, and he was
Yeah.
turning his head and rolling with them a bit, and he was taking some of the sting off. He was very defensively. He was alert. You know, he didn't pay the price he paid in that first fight when he got caught a couple of times. He was well prepared.
Totally different reaction to those right hands from Fury though. Totally different.
Yeah, he didn't blink. He didn't blink, man.
Yeah, like you
Jeez.
could tell the punch hurt, but he was never wobbled or anything. He just kind of rolled.
No.
It was like Joseph Parker. His defense is quite underrated. He rolls with those shots very well, and that's how kind of Fury was taking them, like how Joseph Parker does. He rolls with them well and shifts
looks
his
like
body with them.
It looks like a big hit, but it's not.
Yeah, because
He could have
it's like
takes it off.
Canelo does it as well. He rolls with the shot, and it doesn't, it's not like he's resisting it, and his face just gets, pummeled. It's quite subtle but effective defense.
Yeah.
That
Adam,
Parker.
are you there, mate? Can we hear you now?
Yo,
Hey, you there? All right.
Hey.
How did you see the fight, man? Did you enjoy it?
a one-man beatdown in every sense of the word.
Yep.
To be honest, I'll chuck a wee line out there and say I don't know. Wilder might finish after that. That could be him
Quite
done.
possibly could, yeah.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like he got, what was it, guaranteed 25 million. So
Okay,
You
that's
can-
news to me. Yeah, cool.
yeah. So they broke the record at the gate. It was just under 17 million. Take from that. The pay-per-view figures, I guess, will come out in time. But yeah, I think they're both guaranteed about 25 million each.
Wow.
So that would take Wilder to about like 70 million in his last three fights. So he's got plenty there to retire with, and yeah, you can't really see him taking too many beatdowns like that.
Yeah, well, I suspect some of the bravado that he has about why did you throw the towel in, once he's watched that fight back and he's had time to feel how much a burst eardrum hurts, and watching that tape, the brutality of the beating he took, he may decide to chuck it in.
I don't know if he did burst his drum there, because Shelley Finkel said in the after fight, he said that all he had was quite a laceration on the inside of his ear.
Okay.
Heard him say
which
that.
is-
Yeah.
Which is where the blood was streaming from, as opposed to coming out of the ear. But yeah, like he looked very, very tired, pretty much from round 4 onwards, I'd say, to be honest. Just that
Yeah.
270 pounds, and it was the exact fight that Fury needed. Really, he needed to be used and thrown around the ring, and gee, you would have thought Wilder's legs were going to snap at one point.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that body shot that put him down the second time, he pretty much flew like a rag doll. He had nothing left in those legs to hold him up. I don't know if it was actually the body shot actually hurt him enough to put him down, or it was just the weight behind it and his lack of ability to get his legs behind him to stop himself going down.
There were times, you noticed there were times there that Wilder was actually falling over and he wasn't even being hit.
Yeah. Trying to get away.
Yeah, trying to get away, man, and just stumbling and just falling down. Yeah, he was just rocked, man. Rocked and exhausted.
Well, all that fight proved to me at that point in time was all Wilder wanted to do was run him onto a right hand. There was nothing else at all he tried to change. It was look for the bingo shot, and that was it, really. And yeah, against A-class opposition, that's not going to work. It almost worked for him in the first fight, but Tyson lost 100 pounds.
How do you get a cut on the inside of your ear?
No. Yes.
I can't say I've ever had a cut inside my ear. It's not like there's pointy bits that can poke down inside the ear, but
I heard
I don't
Shelley
know.
Finkel say it. I did hear him say it. I
Yeah.
know what Adam's talking about, but yeah, it doesn't. It seems a bit odd, but
I guess we'll find
yeah.
out more in the coming days whether it was a burst eardrum or not. I have seen a burst eardrum before, and they tend to bleed really badly.
Yeah.
And it didn't seem like it was bleeding as badly as a burst eardrum usually does. So I don't know, but
His
the other thing-
equilibrium was messed up as well, which is usually what happens when your eardrums burst, is your balance goes.
Yeah, there was some irony. I actually found some irony in that fight. I have to be honest. I watched. It was only about 8 months ago. AJ got hit behind the ear and got stunned, and then got a beat down. And certain elements of the boxing community took great delight in that. And then 8 months later, we got Wilder getting hit behind the ear, stunned, and then getting a beat down and ending in the 7th round as well.
Yep.
It's
Look, this is going to serve as one of the greatest examples of marination gone wrong.
oh
You
man,
can't marinate these heavyweight fights, man, because anything can fucking happen. And look, there was an amazing amount of money to be made at that AJ versus Wilder fight, man. Would have probably been bigger than Fury versus Wilder 2 and AJ versus Ruiz 2. You know,
it was massive. It was huge.
they messed up the money because it's not going to be the same now that both men have lost.
no, it's
Yeah, and Wilder's effectively lost twice. And I
Yeah.
tell you what, Deontay Wilder turned down the guaranteed $100 million.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Well,
He's never going to see that money.
If he did take a rematch with Fury, and they earn say $30 million each in the last 4 fights, then Deontay would have earned $100 million.
He would have? Oh,
But
yeah, that's not bad.
Wilder's already got 70 million in the bank, courtesy of the last year. So, the rematch, he's 60-40 on the 40 side, but if he still takes home 15, he's getting up towards that 100 million.
Yeah, so maybe it wasn't such a bad thing to bet on himself, but I still think he could have made a hell of a lot more money if he had made a deal to fight Joshua. Even if it wasn't on the DAZN platform, they still, they could have made upwards of $100 million.
They could afford it in Saudi.
They could
Afford it in Saudi.
yeah.
Apparently, the Saudi are throwing some big money around.
Yeah, well, I heard a rumor that they were offering $200 million for the purses for that fight. So $100 million each just for one fight.
Yeah, man.
Whoa.
Some good money.
But yeah, I wouldn't be at all surprised if Wilder doesn't take up that rematch. That will be him done. Like 34 going on 35, very brittle hand. Pretty much gets injured every training camp. You can only put your body through it for so.
Yeah, well, if I was him and I'd made upwards of $70 million in my career, why would you keep boxing? Unless he's, got that bug where he has to get back in the ring, but he doesn't seem like that kind of guy. He said many a time that he's only boxing to put food on the table. He's not.
And if he's financially secure and that, and the only thing that will bring him back, I think, is his pride. He lost in front of people, and he may want to come back to try and put that right, just for his own pride, self-esteem,
Legacy.
and that. But legacy, yeah.
Yep.
I personally think there's a damn good chance Wilder does retire as well, for all the reasons Adam said. Yeah, he's injury prone, and he got his ass whooped.
Yeah.
Put it to you that way, and he's made enough money. It's not like he's gonna keep boxing for money. Nah.
No. All right, so I saw a tweet from Nathan Gorman straight after the fight, and he says something along the lines of, I bet Eddie Hearn's gonna try and play some games with his percentages, but he'll be pushing shit uphill, sort of thing. And then Eddie Hearn replied to him, no need for games, let's make the fight for summer. But I did see what's her name? Sheila Worrell in the chat has said Joshua is still the cash cow. Now, there's some arguing to do about that, I think. What do you guys reckon? Is Joshua still the biggest cash cow after this performance from Fury?
No, location is the biggest.
I think
Look,
so.
I'll say this. I don't care who the cash cow is. I just want to see them fight. We've been robbed of getting an undisputed fight in the heavyweight division for so long, man. I just want to see them fight.
What I would like to see happen is Tyson Fury fight Dillian White. Get that mandatory out of the way. Joshua fight his 2 mandatories and that he has, and then try and make it for February 2021.
Yeah.
You know, that would make sense. There'd be nothing in the way then. There'd be a WBA mandatory, but there's only one. So I think
They'd have to push it back to at least probably May, just for the English. If it was going to be in English,
Oh, you mean if it's going to be
in the
UK?
US, yeah. If it's in the US, it won't matter. Yeah, if they'll want it to be at Wembley if they can get it, and I don't know if they'd want to risk it on a coming out of winter and having a pouring down cold evening.
Unless they put it at Principality under the roof. There's only 70,000 there, isn't there, or something like that. But they could push ticket sale prices up because it's a massive fight. It's,
Yeah.
I don't know.
So yeah, what would you guys like to kind of see next for, I guess, Fury, Wilder, AJ, the big 3? Do you want to start with Wilder since he's he's the only guy who lost out of them? My personal thing is like retirement. If let's assume he continues, I would like to see him fight ooh. Now I'm gonna go out on, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say I'd like to see him fight Hrgovic, to be honest, because I think Hrgovic will knock him out.
I knew that one was coming.
That took so long for you to say that. I was so surprised.
Were you tossing up between White and Hrgovic?
No, look, I just think the rankings are right in the WBC, and I've always said I think Hrgovic just walks right through Wilder. I mean, Hrgovic's chin is pretty good. He's never been dropped, and I think he'll just walk right through those right hands and beat Wilder down into submission. 4 rounds.
Yeah.
Idol would not be surprised if he doesn't take up the rematch, if the WBC don't order him to fight Wilder.
Yeah, they'll be doing everything they can to.
I truly think that will happen. Is that they'll try and enforce that on White, as fighting for that mandatory position which White already owns.
That would be disgraceful.
I think if they ordered that, White should have the right to turn it down without losing his spot, because he earned that spot. And I think if Wilder wants another title shot that's not the rematch, I think he should have to fight some of the guys that he's avoided throughout his career to get a chance at a title shot. But I don't think they should make White put his mandatory that he's earned and then went through hell to get it back and delayed. I don't think that's fair. The WB cancer can go jam it up their ass if that's what they're going to do from my point of view. But, I wouldn't mind seeing Wilder face somebody like a Big Pharmacy Miller or the Kubrat Pulev or like Eldog says, a Hrgovic fight wouldn't be a bad idea.
It'd be a bad idea for Wilder.
It will be if he turns around quick and does it anyway. I think he needs to take it.
I'm telling you, I just can't see how Wilder can deal with someone like that. He folded under pressure last night. I mean, as green as Hrgovic is, he would just walk him down and beat him up.
Or
The thing that
Kalamaki.
the concern I have for Wilder, as I said earlier on, is just that basic fundamentals of just not knowing, just having your chin up in the air, pulling straight back with your hands down. It's like, God, you're asking to get fucking hammered.
That is a serious issue, but I think almost more concerning for Wilder is that invincibility in his own mind will now be where he did not care what anyone did, he would still knock them. And now he's been on the side of a beating. I think severely dent any confidence that he still has.
Yeah, it's a great point.
People have talked about, does he need a new coach? Personally, I don't think it's the coaches that are the problem. I think it's Deontay, because he's thought he's so invincible for so long. He doesn't listen to his coaches anyway. He wasn't following any of the instructions that they were telling him in the corner this time. He wasn't following their instructions to the last Fury fight either. So I don't think a new coach is going to do squat. But now
Did you hear?
I'll just finish this off, Adam. That he's taken that loss and he's maybe come back down to earth a bit, thinking he's not quite invincible, maybe he'll start listening to his coaches. Maybe his fundamentals will come along when he's willing to bloody listen for a change. So away you go, Adam.
I was just going to say, did you hear the Tunde Ajayi moment just before the start of round 7? JD's got rid of the blood out of his ear and then said, walk forward and put him onto the right hand.
Yeah.
And it's
Walk
like,
forward, right
are you kidding? Like,
or back him up, right hand. Back him up, right hand.
That's like when I heard Abel Sanchez say to Triple G in the corner of their second Canelo fight, just go in there and knock him out, G. Like, come on, man. Like, why don't you just go and tell the guy, hey, man, just win the rounds by hitting him and not getting hit, and you'll win a decision.
It was like Mike Tyson busted Douglas when he was in the corner, and Jay Brighton and Aaron Snow were telling Tyson to stay calm. It's like, well, that's fucking great. I'm getting my ass beat. I need some technical information, man.
How about you tell me what to do so I can fucking regain some confidence, man? Like,
yeah, man.
Like, yeah. But here's the thing. I agree. Like, I think it was John who said, like, he's got Mark Breland in his corner, who was an Olympic gold medalist and a 2-time world champion. If he can't teach Wilder these basic fundamentals, who the hell can? I mean, I think Wilder's a little deluded, and he always was. I think he fell in love with that power and his gifts, and he listened to all his to be honest, they were ass kisses. He listened to all of those guys saying, yeah, you're the greatest, Wilder, you're pound for pound the best, hardest puncher of all time. And he basically, and they became so deluded. They were saying, Wilder is a master boxer and his ring IQ is just so unreal and casual fans can't appreciate it. No, look, he was never that great when it came to his fundamentals. And that was exposed big time last night. He can't get any better, I don't think. And it's like Adam said, that confidence and that delusion is gone. So what does he have now? He's not even going to be confident in himself.
I agree. I mean, when you think he's been a pro for nearly 12 years and an amateur, gone to the Olympics, and you don't know something to not stand up straight and pull straight back with your hands down, you learn that in your first 3 months of getting into the sport.
Yeah.
It's the most basic thing, and to watch him doing that, it's like, if you haven't learnt that by now and you're 34 years old, who can teach it to you? And he did become a one-trick pony. He had this amazing punch, and he's just let it carry him, and just finally bit him on the ass, man. It was the only thing. It was like, what's that girl's name in the UFC? Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
She had a great ground game, and she was hammering all these girls for a long time. But then once these girls worked her out, hey, that's all she's got. If I stay away from her and use speed and trade with her at range, she's got nothing. Once they worked that out, she started getting smacked over.
Yep.
And Deontay, he's got that one trick. He's got that one strength, and it's just, he just got caught out, man. And other fighters are going to look at that now. Hey, everyone's going to be looking at it. Get close to him, pressure him, and go after him. And it's he's going to get more losses coming because of that.
Yeah, don't let him get on the front foot, he can't hit you. Simple
Yeah,
as that.
man. Yep. Take all his
Easy
leverage
go
away.
back.
Go forward, push him back, and all his leverage is gone.
Yep.
And his
The
defense is shit. He doesn't know to keep his hands up. He'll pull straight back. So throw straight punches as he's going back. You know,
And keep
it's
following him. Keep following him. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's a story of capitulation, and for many, with that lack of fundamental skills, it was a time bomb waiting to go off. And you know what? Bomb squad just got bombed.
Oh, it did, man. Jesus.
Yeah, man. Like, look, the only time I see mismatches like those are when I watch amateur tournaments, and you get guys from these small countries who qualify, like from like let's say someone qualifies from Samoa and they go against like the guy from Russia or somewhere. It's just an absolute mismatch. Like,
Yeah.
that's what we got here, man. I can't. I'm kind of glad for boxing, to be honest, because Wilder really was making a bit of a mockery of the sport.
Yeah,
I
well,
think-
you know, everybody giving Wilder shit about his lackluster resume. To get him to the top, I guess we've got to say it was good management to get him to where he was,
Yeah,
to last as long as he did with having only the one trick. So kudos to Wilder for equaling Muhammad Ali's WBC defense record. He certainly has a bit of a legacy there to pass on to his kids and whatnot, but can he come back? Can he get back to the top? I'm not so sure.
I'm just glad. I was in a way. I woke up this morning and I was just in my mind. I was going through different fight scenarios for upcoming fights, and it's just freed up the division. Him not having that belt, and it's not entirely his fault. It's PBC as well. It's just we've got options now. You know, I feel like the heavyweights were sort of paralyzed. The division was just not going. You know, and now there's an opportunity to actually get it moving and get the fights we want.
Jono, I've just got
Yo.
a quick question. You know that Martin versus Washington, was that a final eliminator or was that just an eliminator?
Just an eliminator, mate.
Oh, thank Christ.
I think Kovnatsky versus Hellenius is another eliminator, and then they're gonna have. I mean,
Is that IBF?
yeah,
That's WBA, I think.
WB. Oh wow.
Yeah, because
That's
Kalnaki's
interesting.
2 or 3 in the BA. And they put Hellenius in randomly, air shooted him in at number 6.
Yeah. Well, the weird thing about that IBF eliminator was neither Washington or Martin were actually ranked that high in the IBF. Like, neither of them were top 5.
No, that's why it was just an eliminator, not a final. So
I wonder who they'll fight for the final eliminator.
I'd have a suggestion it
Not
might
sure.
be Kabayel.
Ooh.
He's
Isn't
with
he
top
quite highly
rank,
ranked?
though.
Yeah, but is he not quite highly ranked in the IBF?
Yeah, I'll check it right now, actually.
yeah, I'm outside at the moment. I couldn't check. He hasn't
Yeah,
had a
he's
fight
got-
for a long time. I'd be surprised if he does hang on to the ranking. But now that he's signed with
I think
Top
it'll
Rank.
be Kovnatsky because, hear me out here. Kovnatsky's number 3. He'll beat Hellenius and then he'll go because the IBF always enforce their mandatories. So if they
Yeah.
want to try and grab a title off of AJ, they'll make that Kovnatsky versus Martin fight rematch. I mean, it was a good fight. I'd watch it again. For the IBF final eliminator, since, well, I mean, Charles Martin will be top 10 and Kovnatsky will be 3rd.
that rematch could be extremely interesting because that first fight was only 10 rounds. The final eliminator would be 12. And Martin was coming on in that second half of that fight. I think he won the last 5 easily. So if it's 12 rounds, can Kovnatsky last the distance? That could be interesting.
I wouldn't be surprised if Martin gets fed Brazil as an interim. Just while they sort that out, because if Kalnacki, I guess you'd say now with Wilder not there as the number 1 heavyweight to Wilder's back in PBC, so unless they make, because they're going to try and make Ruiz Ortiz, are they not?
Ruiz
Looks
Ortiz,
like
they're
it.
talking about it now, yeah. Talking for
Yeah.
mid-year.
Yeah, so that's the main issue with your original question, Eldar, was Eddie Hearn with his pay-per-views. He's got to line them up one in a month each time. So they've pushed Joshua all the way back to like June 8th with Pulev. Because he's got
Hergovic, Hunter. Oh no, is it Hergovic McCauley?
What?
Is it Hergovic McCauley, the other one that they're trying to sort out?
Looks like it, but Billy Nelson's saying they basically wanted. Look, Billy Nelson, he talks a lot of shit, but he's been saying that basically Hergovic is running scared and doesn't want any part of Bacoli. I don't know how much there is to believe in that, but I
That's Billy Nelson, yeah.
I
wouldn't-
personally want Hergovic to fight Michael Hunter.
That's a pretty damn good fight too. Just trying to see the rankings. Because Bacoli ain't in the rankings and there ain't a lot in it for Hergovic.
Yeah, Bacoli's
Sorry,
only
Adam,
ranked
you're
25th
in
in the
and out.
WBC.
Sorry, mate, you're cutting in and out at the moment. Are you driving?
It looks like they're putting up all our pay-per-views, Jono. It looks like they're going to be $39.95 all the time.
Great.
That's why you join the Big Boys Boxing Discord.
That's right. I drop fight links that you can watch for free.
Yeah, man.
Look, I'll pay for a good fight, but nah, there's no way I'm gonna pay $40 for a DAZN fight that they're only charging their subscribers $20 a month for all the cards. Like, what? Let's say they put 4 cards on, they're paying like $5 a card or something.
Yeah. I was trying to find the Parker v Winters pay-per-view. Is that the one you were looking at, Muller?
Yeah, I saw it advertised today. It was $39.95 for the whole card, and that's the Mikey Garcia and
Jesse Vargas.
whoever he's fighting. Yeah, it's for the whole card, but it's still they used to charge us $34.95, and I didn't mind that. But you're looking at $40. It's like, damn. What the idiots don't realize is now I'm just going to be more selective about what I pay for.
Yep.
So they're not going to make more money.
No.
I'll pay
It'll
for
probably
the
end up-
Joshua Ruiz cards, the Fury Wilder cards. You know, I'll support these cards, but I'm not going to support Parker versus Winters. Or I like Joseph Parker, but I look, I don't really care that much for a pay-per-view fight. If he fought Dillian White in a rematch, yeah, I'll pay for that.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, man.
Honestly, I might have thought about paying for that Parker Winters Vargas Garcia card if Gassiev was still on there, but he's not. So it's not a great card, really. So I don't think it's worth it. But it seems like since Eddie Hearn put that pay-per-view up, the Ruiz Joshua rematch, it's gone up everywhere. Everywhere's gone up the lazy $5. Frank Warren's talking about Daniel Dubois and Joe Joyce being $24.95 in the UK as well. So thanks, Eddie Hearn. You've made the standard a little more expensive now. But I think that Ruiz Joshua card was actually worth the extra $5. It had some good fights on there, man. But it is what it is. We're just gonna have to like it or lump it or steal it.
Yep. Yeah, man, that's it, eh? Well, you got your link. You provide links, do you, Jono?
I do on the Discord. Yeah, I've got a
Good
text
stuff.
channel there called Live Fight Links, and I drop links there 24 hours before the fight starts, or closer to it if I find better ones. So there's always an option there if you don't have a broadcast. What was that,
Excellent.
Adam?
Yeah.
Exactly. Helping out boxing fans. Some of us aren't rich, or some of us just don't have the streams or the telecasts available in our countries. We sort it. Who should Wilder fight next for me? I would like to see him face Kovnarski, but I don't think it's going to happen because he's got his own aspirations and Wilder is no longer at the top of the table. So, who have we got here? Oscar Rivas is an option. He's number 3 with the WBC.
Be a good one.
Bad fight.
Fight.
Bad one for Wilder.
Yeah,
Well,
fight with.
Rivas is only 6
Oh
foot,
no,
6
Rivas.
foot tall.
Oh, no, that's what I mean. Rivas will be a good fight for Wilder. Be a good opponent to come back on.
Yeah?
That fight.
You think he's got enough when it comes to pressure to keep Wilder on the back foot?
No, I think Wilder would win that. I think
No, I
it'll be
mean,
a good comeback.
Adam, I was meaning, he thinks Rivas will
Oh.
knock him out. So sorry, Muller, but yeah, I don't know. How do you think he would beat him, Adam? How do you think he would knock him out? Yeah, true that. The Philly shell. He comes in.
I mean, look, I would say that Wilder should just easily jab him and stay on the back foot, but after last night's performance, he doesn't have the fundamentals to do it. I'm kind of doubting myself that he would actually be able to do that, but well, I would favor Wilder to win that. Like, he should be able to just jab Rivas, stay on the back foot, make it a boring kind of fight, and win.
How about Joseph Parker versus Deontay Wilder in a final eliminator for the WBC?
Are you there?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Did you hear that at all or no?
No, didn't. Sorry,
Oh.
Adam.
I think that Rivas does well at getting very small. He's not that easy to hit clean, and he carries serious pop. And Wilder's the sort of person who needs that space.
Definitely.
I just think he would just be a smaller version of a guy trying to maul him.
It's a good
Okay.
point.
Yeah.
I respect that breakdown, man. You got me thinking now.
Well, he's just got that pop that you can't just sort of walk through, and he's definitely got that heart and that drive to try and finish something, as we've seen in the White fight.
yeah. I just thought maybe the winner of Dubois v Joyce against Wilder, but maybe that's a bad choice too.
I think
whoever
Dubois
wins it-
runs through Wilder.
Quite possibly, eh? He's got plenty of pop. He's big enough to jab with Wilder as well. So, shit, I don't know. I don't know where to for Wilder now.
How
It's
does
so
everyone have that
comprehensive.
one?
What
Sorry,
was that,
Mark.
Adam?
I was just going to say, how does everyone see that one playing out, Dubois versus Joyce?
I think Dubois takes him out in 4 rounds.
Oh,
I'm going for Dubois on points.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm thinking Dubois stoppage rounds 8 or 9, somewhere there. But Joe Joyce is a tough son of a bitch. It might go to points, but I think if it does go to points, Dubois is gonna win easily. But what do you reckon, Adam?
I think he cut out, man. He's not on the panel
Dropped out.
anymore.
Okay. All right. Did you give your opinion on that one, Marla?
What was that?
Dubois Joyce?
Oh yeah. I think Dubois will take it on points. If he
Yeah.
does get a stoppage against Joyce, it'll be late. It'll be 8-12. I think he'll have to work. He'll have to grind Joyce down. Yeah, but I'm going for a points one on that unanimous decision.
Do you think there's a chance that Joyce could win it on points with his volume?
Yeah. I definitely reckon that he'd win the later rounds. That's for sure.
But Are you picking Dubois, Adam?
I'm going to throw it out there and I'll go Joyce. Round 10, stop it.
Okay. And the date for that one, I believe, was April 8th, was it? Something there. So,
Might be, is it 11?
April 11th, that's it. Yep.
Yeah.
So a little bit to wait for that one. But we've still got a bit of a busy month ahead. We've still got Parker in action. We've got the Kovnarski Hellenius fight on the 7th. We've also got Dempsey McKean and Jonathan Rice on the 7th. There was another fight on that card. Efra Jugba and Razvan Kijanu is also on that Kalnaki card. So we've got a bit to look forward to. Maybe the middle of March is a little bit quiet, but we've got the cruiserweight WBSS final somewhere in the middle of March here as well, haven't we? With Dorticus and Breedus. That's
is,
a damn good fight.
Is Paddy Mailata back out then as well, mid-March, against Vaughan Hill?
Is that who he's fighting? I was looking because he was sparring somebody the other day.
Joyce.
Yeah, Joyce.
Joe Joyce he was sparring, and then I went and had a look on Boxrec, and there was nothing scheduled for him then. But
Yeah, you're right. Actually, I see it on BoxRec.
okay. And I saw in the pictures of him sparring Joyce, he looks like he's cut some weight because he was up around 280, 290 pounds there.
He looks in great shape compared to what he did.
Yeah. So pretty keen to see Patrick back in action. Who did you say was fighting?
Vaughan Hill, I think, the American fella.
Okay.
Just a journeyman.
I have to look him up. I don't know much about him. I have heard of the name before.
I think there was a point there he was linked with, I think was it Charles Martin's return? But I think
Okay.
did he fight Martz or something instead or something like that?
Yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
right. Okay, Vaughan Param.
Oh,
Cool.
right, okay.
I don't know how you pronounce it. Parham. I think it's Param. He's 4-1, so he doesn't have a lot of experience. Let's look at this guy.
What's Paddy? Is he 4-0 or is he 5-0?
4-1.
Patrick.
Oh, Patrick. He is 4-0 at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
This Param guy is 6'7". Holy shit, he's a big boy. No registered reach. Orthodox. He comes from New York. And that's pretty much all I've got on him. Where's knockout percentage? He's only had 5 bouts. Fought 9 rounds with a KO percentage of 80%. Who's he fought? Probably nobody of note. Greg Richer, never heard of him. Doug Joel, never heard of him. Jason Bergman, he fought him in his second fight. Okay. Is that the one he lost? Yeah, it was. It's the one he lost by TKO in the first round against Jason Bergman. So I think Paddy will do a job on this guy. If Jason Bergman's knocking him out, then I expect Patrick Mailata will finish him off pretty quickly. But it's all about record building when he's that early in his pro career, I guess. But good to see his brother.
Who's he signed with?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't think it's available on BoxRec. Let's have a look. No registered manager and no registered promoter that I know of. So if anybody has any information, I have seen him actually around on YouTube. Seen him, he's actually subscribed to my channel and he drops in now and then. So maybe I should try and contact him. I've tried in the past. He never got back to me.
Do you know it all, Marla?
I know, no, don't know.
Might have to do some research once the stream's finished. See what I could find. What's
Who's
going
this?
on? Patrick Mailata.
Oh, what about him?
He's got a fight coming up, but who's his promoter? Who's he signed with? Any idea?
Lou DiBella.
Oh, did he sign with Lou DiBella Entertainment?
I'm pretty sure he has. Let me check.
So he's got 3 Kiwi boys.
Well, is Hemi actually signed with them now? I know he's been fighting on the same cards as Junior, but I don't know if he'd signed them or not.
Oh, well, Lou's been talking him up in all the social media posts when he has fought, so I just assumed
Yeah,
he was under the banner.
probably is, mate. Probably is. So Lou's picking up all the Kiwis except for Joseph Parker at the moment. Expect to see them on Showbox cards, I guess. And that's where Junior and Hemi have been fighting their last couple of fights. We must be due for an announcement for those two boys coming soon too. Junior was in camp with Deontay as per usual, and he usually has a fight not long after that.
Man, what a horrible choice in sparring partners. Like, I don't see how Junior Farr can prepare anyone for Tyson Fury.
Slow.
Yeah.
Well, do you know who the other ones were? Jeez.
Malik Scott.
Well, Malik Scott. There was Craig Lewis, who was he's an absolute journeyman. Is it Eugene Hill was another one?
Yeah,
is
look.
he that huge white dude?
No,
Eugene Hill?
he's the big African American fella.
Okay, there was one big white dude in that camp. Well, I don't know who it was. I remember seeing a picture.
Probably Daniel
my head,
Martz, was it?
Nah, I had a bit of hair.
Ah.
So it wasn't. Did anybody manage to see Daniel Martz over the weekend? I haven't seen it, but he got knocked out in the 3rd round, I think it was, by Simon Keane.
Yeah, the flying mullet.
The flying mullet. I had a few people say to me, well, that might actually be competitive. I was like, come on, man. Daniel Martz flops around the ring like a fucking dolphin out of water. He's uncoordinated as shit. He's going to get knocked out. But it is what it is, you know. He's had a couple of wins after his loss to, what was it, Luis Ortiz, his last loss? No, it was there for a joke, but I can't remember. But he had a couple of wins, and people start thinking, oh, well, maybe he can box a bit. But for me, ever since I saw him for the first time, I started doing research when he was in to fight Joseph Parker, and when I did a bit of research and looking at how he fights, dude can't fight for shit. He's just big. That's all.
Who's this?
Daniel Martz.
Yeah. Look, I'll tell you this about Wilder's sparring partners. I'm sure they picked those guys to spar him because they didn't want his confidence to be destroyed by younger guys like Tony Yoka, Ivan Daichko, or Bakadir Jalalov, who would have been great sparring partners for him. But I think they would have beat the shit out of him in sparring, and basically his confidence would have been shredded.
Yeah. I wonder how much access he's got to fighters as well, you know, fighters from other stables and whatnot.
Money
don't seem to
talks,
wanna-
man. Money
yeah.
talks.
I
He
guess
could have
so.
got any sparring partners in the world for the right price, and instead he chose, you know, bums who would make him feel good about himself.
Yeah. I mean, Tyson had Guido Vianello in camp. He doesn't fight anything like Tyson Fury. So, you know, what's the point of having him in there? You know, fighters try to emulate other fighters, and I don't know how good a job they do, but you got to have some sort of similarities if you want them to emulate your opponent. But
Listen,
Gu-
you need to do
Guido does carry a pop, to
he
be
carries
fair,
pop. Yeah.
in that right hand. So that might have been a bit of a training thing of him trying to use like a right hand. But when you think about it, actually, I'd say that Joseph Parker, other than obviously Joshua when he calls them all in, is the best sparring of anyone. Like he's gone through with Tony. He's got Guido. He's
We're losing you, Adam. We're losing you. He's
Yeah,
gone.
but I think the sparring partner choice was horrible for Wilder. I mean, look, he chose guys that make him feel good. That's about it. He should have been sparring
Sorry.
guys like Tony Yoka, Ivan
Yeah.
Daichko, and Jalalov, all who are good boxers and taller than 6'6". So you know the height is similar. They're tall, slick boxers. You know.
Yeah. But then again, it comes back to Deontay should be trying to. It should have been trying to improve his fundamental skills. Once
Why-
again, we
That's why.
keep coming back to it.
Yeah,
no
it's
getting
like
around
that's
it.
why Vladimir was able to stay on top so long, though. He was bringing in every young killer there was to spar.
Sorry, I'm just laughing. What's this guy's name? It's in the chat. Udosa. Fury is the best, or is the greatest of all time. I don't know about that yet. I don't know about that. I was
Not even
watching.
close.
I was watching somebody's video yesterday, and they were saying it's the best heavyweight champion versus champion performance they've seen in over 30 years of watching boxing. Now, I don't know about that. There's been some great heavyweight champions versus heavyweight champions fights in the last 30 years. How do you guys think this fight, the performance from Tyson Fury, rates against the others in the last 30 years?
30
You gotta have a
years.
go. Yeah, you have a go.
Um, well, to be honest, Anthony Joshua did knock out the god himself, Charles Martin, so it's hard to go against that, mate. He walks
Yeah.
this earth like a god, and AJ knocked him down a couple times and knocked him out, so yeah,
Yeah, AJ circumcised that Jedi. I think Tyson versus Holyfield, both fights were better. But Marla, you want to have a go?
No, what was that? Sorry, I was a bit muted there for a bit. What were you talking about?
Do you think the performance from Tyson Fury is the best champion versus champion performance in the last 30 years?
Ooh, boy, it was. It's up there, man. It was such a beatdown. It was such an absolute crushing. I'm trying to think of a fight like Holyfield was a big underdog against Tyson and kicked his ass in that first fight they had.
Yeah.
God, man, I don't know. It's right up there that he just beat Wilder so bad.
I guess
It's
you got to think of it. Maybe it is one of the most dominant performances.
yeah.
sure.
It was. I really do. When you got two undefeated heavyweights in there, and for one guy to just beat the other one down so badly, and this is they both got titles, both undefeated. Yeah, I'm trying to think of a fight that it was certainly one of the greatest in the last 30. Just
I
for
can't
dominance.
For the dominance, I think maybe it is on the money. That's a tough one. See, the fans are starting to go a little bit mad. David Mason. Chat keeps moving on me. There we go. Fury KO's AJ. You're entitled to your opinion. But blimey. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I said earlier on in the stream, if Tyson hones that Kronk style even more, he's only had 3 months of training it. If he gets that perfect, I can't see AJ getting past him.
Dossa says, trust me, I've been watching boxing for years. Fury is the greatest I've seen. What, greatest heavyweight? Because I can honestly think of a lot of boxers right now just on the eye test who I think are better boxers than Tyson Fury.
And I have to say, Muhammad Ali, yes, he did get some losses on his record, but he got most of those losses when he wasn't in his prime. He was starting to, he was getting old.
Well past his prime.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he fought absolutely everybody too. You know, the money in the deals didn't seem to be as important in those days. They just got in the ring and fought each other and got it done. It's not so freaking easy these days. So if you want to surpass somebody as the greatest like Muhammad Ali, then you got to fight everybody. And at the stage, Tyson hasn't fought everybody.
And Ali wasn't 6'2", he was 6'3". Udosa says he was only 6'2", and he was 6'3" with I think about an 80-inch or an 81-inch reach.
Yeah, Boxer X says he's 6'2", but that's
No,
right.
he was 6'3". Yeah.
How does Tyson lay claim to the greatest from here? Because if he beats, say, Josh, who else is there really? Like back when Ali was fighting, there was 6 or 7 guys. We've put this down to there's only 3 guys that matter. So if Tyson, I'd say, he's beaten Wilder twice already. If he does the same to Joshua, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
not much more for him to do.
If he beats Joshua twice, that's going to take at least another year to 18 months. By that stage, maybe we'll have the next crop of heavyweights come through that'll be touching at title shots, like the Hrgoviches, the Jalalovs, the Bukolis, the Joyces, and so the Makhmedovs, the so on and so forth that are on the rise. So maybe by the time he's done that, there'll be another crop of good heavyweights to cement a legacy as the greatest ever, but time will tell.
I'll tell you who he's got to beat, in my opinion.
Philip Hrgovic.
Well, it's got to be a number of guys. All right, he's got to beat Dillian White. He's got to beat Anthony Joshua. He's got to beat Alexander Usyk. He's got to beat Andy Ruiz. He's got to beat Hrgovic and
Joseph
Dubois.
Parker.
Look, he's got to beat, because he's beat Klitschko, who was the past. He's beat Wilder, who was one of the present. He should then beat AJ, so we could say he's beat the past and the present. He would then need to beat like Usyk and Ruiz, and then he'd need to beat guys like Hrgovic and Dubois, who are considered the future.
Yep. If he continues to fight until he's 40, he'll have the opportunity to do this, and I would like to think that after this dominant performance and how easy he made it look, that he's not going to retire when his ESPN contract runs out.
Yeah. But I mean, I personally think Fury will be done pretty soon in terms of his career. He won't stick around long.
I give it 18 months.
Yeah, he'll fight
Have a big fight
Dillian
with
White and
AJ.
AJ, and then bye, I think.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, since he's good friends with Joseph Parker, come down under, mate, and defend against Joseph Parker down here.
Yeah, why not? They're not all bums, you dosser. Bums are outside the top 100, mate, in my opinion.
Dos is talking about how Ali is too small for Fury, right? Remember what Steve Cunningham was able to do against Fury? What do you think Ali would be able to do to Steve Cunningham, man? Like, come on.
How big is Cunningham? He's only 6'2", isn't he? He's actually smaller than
And he's nowhere near as good.
No.
So look,
I mean, look at what John McDermott did to Fury in their first fight, and you're gonna still sit there and say Tyson Fury's the greatest ever.
Yeah. Look, Muhammad Ali's a legend, mate. An absolute legend. I mean, look at that George Foreman win, the Joe Frazier wins, the Sonny Listons, the Ernie Shavers, Floyd Patterson. There's a lot of great wins he has. I'm not really going to entertain these fantasy fights just because I think, like, let them be great in their own respect. I mean, It's so far apart now, man.
I've always thought too, comparing current boxers to legends, I don't think that's right. You got to wait until the current fighter's career is over, and
Yeah,
then you can compare. Because right now, Tyson Fury's only got the Vladimir Klitschko and the Deontay Wilder wins as great wins.
exactly.
You know, besides that, what is there? The second Derek Chisora fight. That's not world championship level fighting,
And look,
unfortunately.
that Wilder win is not comparable to Ali's win over Foreman. Let's just be real.
Hell no. Hell no.
Ali's win over Foreman, man. Something
Yeah.
super special.
The Rumble in the Jungle will live forever. I don't know if Tyson Fury over Deontay Wilder will live forever, but it's certainly up there when it comes to performance. I've got to give him that much. He dominated a fight, the longest rating champion. He deserves every bit of credit he gets for it. Hopefully, he doesn't get demonized back in the UK like he did when he had his issues. Maybe then Tyson will go back and fight in the UK. So
I think just contract-wise is the only reason why he can't, because he has to have mandatory 2 fights in the US a year. And if he wants to have, obviously, the third fight, then it's got to work out. So, because Frank had said that he's more than able to have fights in the UK, and they'll fall under Queensberry Promotions, with Top Rank as the co-promoter.
yeah, for sure. I think it'd just be an issue of convincing Bob to give up one of the fight contracts to go over there, because it won't be in prime time in America. Bob won't make a heap of money out of it. But if it's big enough, I mean, there's going to be a lot of attention on Tyson Fury after this one. He beat Deontay Wilder in his own backyard in front of all of those fans, all the Americans who bought it. So he would have gained a shitload of fans after that as well. Maybe they'd
Could
be
you hear
willing.
the chant?
USA, USA was one of the chants I heard.
And then after the knock, they were chanting Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess he can lay claim though to being. Well, there's only 2 times that someone's been a 2.
Yeah.
So
And
I hold that.
Like Marla was saying earlier, he's held all 4 sanctioning bodies belts. He's held that Ring magazine twice now, and he's also lineal. So, man, dude's got a legacy that will live for a while. That's for dang sure.
Well, I reckon if Wilder Fury was signed tomorrow, they'd do 2 million pay-per-view buys.
Oh, easy. Probably close to like 5 million. It'd go off. You know what the Poms are like getting behind boxing. And then there's the US market as well. They'd probably be able to even pay-per-view it. At what time would it be in the morning over there? It'd be early as.
Oh, you said it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no, if it's in the
It'd be
UK.
If it's in the UK, they're fighting there. Near midnight or 1 a.m.
Okay. So they're about 5 hours behind, eh?
Yeah.
The States. Oh,
Hey
5 hours in
fellas, I'm gonna
front.
get off now, man. You guys have a good one, eh? It was good talking boxing with you.
Yep, good talk, man.
Awesome. Thanks, L-Dog. Take it easy, brother.
Appreciate it, man.
Got to jump too, actually.
Yeah, I'm about to start winding it up now anyway, mate. So thanks a lot for jumping
Yeah,
on, Marla. Appreciate that.
No worries, man. Yep, I'll see you on the next chat.
Will do, mate. Take it easy.
Okay, mate. See you guys.
All right. Was there any other subjects you'd like to bring up before we start winding it up, Adam? What's he gone to?
No worries.
All right, still there. But you're in and out. Reception, you're on your long drive, mate. Adam's still there. Still there, but he's leaving. Yeah, I can't hear you, Adam. You're dropping in and out again. Okay, brother. Take it easy. Thanks for dropping in, man. Catch you next time. Alright, so that's just about us for today. Tyson Fury puts in the most massive performance we've seen in a long time, most dominant performance. We come to the conclusion, probably the most dominant champion versus champion at heavyweight fight in over 30 years. So great performance. Well done to Tyson Fury, the new WB Cancer heavyweight champion of the world. Who's he going to fight next? I say Dillian White. He's going to take on his mandatory. I don't think that undisputed fight will get made, like I've been banging on about for the last little while. If Joshua don't fight Usyk after Pulev, he will get that WBO belt stripped from him, and it won't be an undisputed fight anyway. So I think both Joshua and Fury should try and bang out as many mandatories as they can, and maybe fight sometime next year, and get this undisputed fight happening. But until then, take care of business, boys. I hope you've all enjoyed the stream. Appreciate y'all coming in, and we should catch you next. So this is Big Boys Boxing, and I'm out. See ya. So that's it for today. Appreciate y'all coming and checking out the Big Boys Boxing content. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Also, if you want to get more involved, you can go to the Big Boys Boxing channel page, and over here on the top right, there's this Discord icon here. If you click on that, it will take you to the Big Boys Boxing Discord server. This is it here, and these are the text channels here. The info is all about the channel and how to get involved. General chat, we all just talk about boxing, any subject, everybody's welcome. Live fight links, I drop links here that will take you to live fight events. I generally drop the link here 24 hours before the fight, so if you don't have a broadcast, you can come here and find a way to watch it. Also, fights that I do record, I will be posting here. I've got a couple here already, as you can see. And down here, the voice channels, live panel. If you'd like to get involved with the live YouTube streams, the panel is on here. Once you get here, you just click on live panel, and as you can see, you're in. If you'd like to mute at any point, there's a little mic icon here. Click on that and you are muted. And if you'd like to leave the call, this is your hang up button. Simple as. And down here, this is anytime chat. It's another voice channel. You can get on here and talk with anybody who's in there about whatever you want to talk about. It's free for all. So get involved. I'm Jono from Big Boys Boxing, and I will catch you next time. See you!